Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a very small law firm in central Minnesota. And today I come bearing rumor and conjecture and speculation, all of the things that are anathema to the legal process. But I am brave and bold and bring them to you in regards to Vic Mignogna. In the Vic Mignogna situation, I have things to talk about. And this video is a preview of those things because those things require more time to fully flesh out than what we've got here. So I'm going to hit a couple very important points. This video will be a sufficient summary for those of you who are interested in a quick sort of update type video on some new juicy and very interesting information. The kind of information that if you're a lawyer, you would love to have your hooks into. In this type of situation, of course, in this type of case. I mean, just randomly, it wouldn't matter, right? It only matters because of the case. That's what makes this so darn compelling. Okay. So this video will be a sufficient sort of quick hit, but I encourage you to check out the live stream that I'll be doing on this later. And I have no idea why I just went out of focus, but we're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. So maybe that'll help. The new information is very interesting. I talked to a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people involved in this case. I talked to people who are not involved in this case but have very interesting information. I talked to voice actors. I talked to agents. I talked to con staff. I talked to con organizers. I talked to people on the pro-Vic side. I talked to people on the anti-Vic side. I talked to a lot of different people. That people come talk to me. It's not that I'm special. It's that they're trying to get this information out. And a little bird indicated to me something we didn't know about before. Something, well, at least I didn't. Maybe you guys did. You see, if you've watched my other videos, if you've been following this situation, you know that there's some really kind of particular causes of action out there. You've got tortious interference with business relations. You've got defamation of character. You've got this broader range of business defamation, which may have some other cause of action under the umbrella. You have this destruction. We know Vic has been removed from Funimation. We know Vic has been removed from Rooster Teeth. And we know that there may be some civil, well, we suspect. I shouldn't say we know. We suspect that there may be some sort of civil conspiracy, a legal conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory, not a dark cabal with baby sacrifices, but the fact that some people might have gotten together and put together a plan. Like maybe Anime News Network staff tweeted out ahead of time, we're trying to destroy someone here. Please give us the info. And then Channel Awesome, former associates from Channel Awesome may have written on several different publications and in several different places this sort of coordinated sort of campaign to remove someone from employment. That's the type of civil conspiracy. And maybe they coordinated with Funimation staff, or maybe Rooster Teeth staff, or maybe they got voice actors or actresses involved behind the scenes to speak out against Vic. Maybe that all happened because maybe a bunch of people said that happened. Who are the people who have done it? I don't know, okay? But maybe. We have reason to believe that some of that stuff may have taken place. But up until now, there's been one crucial element that's been missing. I say up until now. I don't know this, but I've got chirpings and rumors and whispers coming in about something that we've not been able to show so far, and that is devastating in the state of Texas. It is tortious interference with a contract. Whoa, gotcha! Right, Shane? I gotcha! Gotcha! You got me, Shane, because we're going to talk about tortious interference with a contract. And as Shane knows, Shane, brilliant boy, smartest, best decision maker, organizing only the best cons. I mean, maybe inferring that he organizes more cons than he does, maybe getting shot down publicly by one of those cons. Whatever. Shane knows about tortious interference with a contract, and Shane told us from his Discord server's Google results exactly how this works. So let's talk about it. Tortious interference with a contract requires knowledge of a contract, an act calculated to interfere with a contract, actual interference with that contract, typically manifesting in breach. But in Texas, that's qualified. We'll talk about that in a second. And then finally, damages from said interference. Now, in some states, you need an actual breach of contract. In Texas, you don't need a full breach. In Texas, Shane, where you are, you don't need a full breach of contract. You need the cancellation or interference with the contract. It doesn't have to be a breach. Now, if you're in New York, you better have breach as an element of your contract. And if you have cancellation instead of breach, you don't have tortious interference in New York. But in Texas, even if you have a lawful reason to end a contract that is not a breach, for example, that is not a breach, even if you have the lawful means to end a contract, if someone improperly interferes and inserts themselves between you and the contracting party, you have tortious interference. There's qualifications on this, and I'm going to talk about them right now. This is a deep subject. I'm going to talk about this very in depth tonight on my live stream. But here's the quick hits. If you have privilege to make the communication, that really makes it hard to prove a case of tortious interference. If you can't show malice, that makes it hard to show tortious interference with contract. These two things are for contract. But let's say you have an exit clause in your contract that allows you to say, uninvite someone from a convention after they've signed a contract. Okay. You say, well, there's this provision that says, I can get out of it, right? Some morality clause, some sort of thing. You maybe are not breaching the contract at that point. You're just exercising your exit strategy. However, if someone were to contact the contract holder and maybe make a fictitious story up, or maybe make a claim that was not able to be substantiated, and the contract holder relied on that claim in violating that contract and ending the contract prior to performance, then, and if you could show, especially if you could show they acted with malice, then you have tortious interference in Texas. So let's say possibly that Vic was going to appear at a convention. Let's say possibly someone contacted that convention, or even if the convention contacted them, one of those two things either are possible. And the convention said, what about this guy? And someone said, you know what? This guy shouldn't be at your convention for X reason. Okay? I know he's coming, but he shouldn't come for X reason. And that X reason turned out to be untrue. And you could prove that X reason was relied upon by the contract holder in ending the contract. You could show that. Then you have tortious interference with a contract in Texas. We haven't been able to show TI with contract yet. But the information that I got this past night sure is juicy. Sure is juicy. I'm not at liberty to disclose all of it yet. But here's the thing, guys. Here's something we didn't actually know was happening. We only thought maybe it was happening. And now I have reason to believe that this was happening at a furious pace. Furious pace. We've got a convention. We've got a convention that not only was maybe going to invite Vic Mignogna, but maybe did invite Vic Mignogna. Maybe. Maybe we've got a convention that invited him. Maybe we've got a party who knew that he was invited. And then maybe we've got a party that contacted a convention or multiple conventions. Maybe it's more than one, right? And we've got now someone making a false claim about Vic Mignogna and getting him removed from the convention. This is textbook TI, if true. Big if true. The biggest if true. This is textbook TI with a contract. We've been pretty, I've personally been pretty harsh with some conventions saying, hey, you know, they uninvited him. It's based on no evidence. It's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. But there may have been factors that we were not aware of up till recently. And I guess technically not aware of yet. I don't know this to be true, but I have reason to believe that some of these conventions did not want to disinvite Vic Mignogna. I have reason to believe that some conventions were very happy to invite Vic Mignogna, however, may have received false information about him, to which they're forced to react. Because what do you do if you've got people making these very salacious claims about someone? Guys, it's time. It's time. Conventions have to know in the best, most respectful ways that fans will show up for Vic. Conventions have to know. And the only way they're going to know is I guess there's two methods. Got to support Vic at the conventions where he's invited. Not invented. They didn't create Vic Mignogna. You don't create a Vic Mignogna. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Conventions where he's still invited. Show up. If you're in the area, if you're an anime fan, if you're a Vic fan, show up if you can do it. Of course, you're not expected to fly across the earth. You're not expected to spend your life savings to go to a convention. No. People who want to go to conventions, go to the ones where Vic is. Support him. Let them know. Show them that the lines are out the door. Show them that Vic is getting support from his fans. Show them that the conventions are getting support when they support Vic Mignogna. Vic was at a convention last week. As far as I know, that convention went great. Things were positive. People were there. Vic was very popular, just like normal, just like every other convention he goes to. Popular, supported. Fans are there to help him out. Fans are there to support the conventions. Vic's still invited to conventions, a couple of them. And those conventions, we know Anime Matsuri, we know Hawaii Con, both conventions that are being supportive of Vic and need to be supported by the fans who are able to make them. The other conventions, respectfully, find out who's running them or whatever their social media page is, and submit respectful requests to allow them the ammunition they need to come back against people who are naysaying them. Look, Vic's support is off the charts. Just look at the videos. Just look on YouTube and Twitter. Vic's fans are there to support him and to support the conventions. We have the ability to let these conventions know in the most polite, respectful ways that people will show up. If you invite him, they will come, right? They're doing it. They're doing it. I'm sorry to the conventions. You've been sold a bill of goods, a bill of falsehoods against a man. Everyone understands why you made the decisions you did. And soon, people might understand what extra pressure you're put under. Soon, people might understand what extra pressure you've been put under that has prevented you from inviting Vic. And we're here to say, fans are here to support Vic, and the people who are opposed to him, they don't show up to conventions. They don't buy the products. It's a fake campaign. Because he didn't do something that made someone mad a decade ago, it's all fake. It's embarrassing that people have latched onto it and tried to make it something else. It really is. It's embarrassing that those people were so invested in it that they would lie and ruin a man's reputation. It's embarrassing that they did that. But that's the world we live in. The cause is more important than the person for the world we live in. So, I will be talking about this more on my live stream, but just so you know, tortious interference with contract, which has been missing, might just be on the table. And if you're one of the people who interfered with a contract, whatever claims you had against you before, ooh, I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of a person who lied about a contract in Texas. We call that an uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you join me on the stream later tonight. 11 p.m. Central is the stream time on this channel. Please, if you are a fan of Vic, if you are following this, if you find this interesting and titillating or whatever, I don't mean to be clickbaity, but there's a lot to go through on how this would actually play out, and I'm happy to tell you what it would look like. Please pass this around. Please be encouraging. Please be respectful. And please let the cons know in the nice, polite, professional, and respectful ways that if Vic shows up, people will show up. People will show up. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night. I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.